dear Dhamma friends. So it's been great after a few weeks again to meet you and share my Dhamma knowledge. Today, of course, I would like to talk something about the Dhamma, if not the teachings of the Buddha, why it is very important to listen to the Dhamma. So, the rewards of Dhamma sharing, better to put it that way, the rewards of Dhamma sharing. When we take this aspect into our consideration, Dhamma sharing has shaped a lot in our lives from the very inception to the present day. When we pay our attention to the history of the Buddhism, many are the rewards. Many were the people who were benefited by sharing this Dhamma. When it comes to the existence as sharing the Dhamma, there are different aspects that we have to deal with to get clarified, if not to clear about this aspect of the Dhamma listening, Dhamma sharing, Dhamma practicing. Whatever the way we talk about this Dhamma listening, basically Dhamma practicing. And in your life also you may have practiced this Dhamma for a long time, from the beginning up to the present day life. Whatever the way we are dealing with this Dhamma, as I told you earlier, the benefits, rewards, and the fair results that you can achieve are enormous and limitless too. Finally, the goal may be to achieve the final Nibbana, salvation, if not the freedom of suffering. So, how to be rewarded in this Dhamma? How we are going to gain the results? Fair results from this Dhamma. This is highly important for every one of us to understand if we are to achieve the final Nibbana, if not the final salvation of the teachings of the Buddha. Rewards of Dhamma can be categorized into 4 sections as I have studied and as the way I would like to bring it forward. The 4 categories of listening to the Dhamma, if not practicing the Dhamma. Finally, the sharing the Dhamma. On every Sunday, you come here and listen to one of the Dhamma talk given by a venerable or a delegate, a respectable person. representing any other institutions in this society. It is not only on Sundays, but on other days also. Whenever you are free, and if you can find a free time, you tend to listen to the Dhamma. Now, when we talk about this Dhamma sharing, somebody would misunderstand that it is just only listening to the Dhamma. Of course, just only by listening to the Dhamma, we cannot achieve the final, liberation. And that's why I call you, it's better to define this term Dhamma sharing as Dhamma practicing. It may be listening, it may be reading, sometimes it varies as learning or teaching. Finally, cultivating the mind, if we take it as a kind of meditation. So this is called Dhamma sharing. This is called Dhamma practicing. So what are the 4 categories that I put forward earlier as rewards of this Dhamma? Okay, let me bring one of the categories, if not the benefits. Okay, rewards of practicing the Dhamma, sharing this Dhamma. The first one is, when you practice this Dhamma, when you share this Dhamma in your life, whether it is listening, whether it is learning, studying or meditating, the first benefit is it dispels the, anxiety and excessive weariness, both in, it may be physical or psychic, anxiety of both physical and psychic. That's the first reward you can have by listening to by sharing this Dhamma. Just wait, later on I'll bring few stories, if not some analogous to the sharing of this Dhamma, relating to the first aspect that I would like to share with you. So that's the first reward, dispelling the anxiety of both physical and psychic. Second one, it destroys, when you go on practicing the Dhamma, it destroys another aspect of weariness of physical and mental. Thirdly, if somebody is devoted to this practicing Dhamma, definitely he can achieve one of the biggest, if not very specified benefit of this Dhamma. That category, if I bring forward like this, you can of course well function, in other words, the well functioning of daily routines that were being inactive, that were being sabotaged earlier, well functioning of the actions, if not daily routines, that we earlier did not experience in our life. That's the third aspect, third category of sharing this Dhamma. Then the fourth one is, if you go on practicing this Dhamma, definitely when it brings, as I told you earlier, those three aspects of sharing the Dhamma. Fourth one is, if I am not mistaken, as I have read, because I have studied and I have done some researches of these four aspects of Dhamma sharing. Anyway, the fourth one is, while being the third one, the well functioning of the daily routine. The fourth aspect is cognitive restructuring, cognitive change. In other words, sometimes, though we say that we are living according to our wishes, and though the mind is within ourselves, sometimes we do not behave according to the way as we wish. Sometimes we feel that somebody is, transforming, somebody is making a big change in our mind. So in other words, our mind is not in our possession but of somebody else. That's why I call you, it's something about cognitive restructuring, cognitive change. This fourth category allows you to make oneself make his own choice. Now that's correct. And let me now, explain these four categories one by one, giving you, very nice, some of the very nice stories depending on the time, because I have to finish this story, my, Dhamma talk, Dhamma sharing, within half an hour, allowing you to, ask any questions also. Now, earlier I told you, when you practice this Dhamma as something Dhamma sharing in your life, from the day you can understand, from the day you can feel this Dhamma, it brings you lots of results, but those are the four categories, for benefits, for rewards that you can, experience in this world itself. I'm not talking about the Nibbana, okay? I'm not talking about the final salvation. Except the final salvation, those are the, benefits, rewards, particularly you can experience in this life itself. No need of waiting for another. Okay. How to dispel the anxiety, excessive weariness of both physical and psychic when we are dealing with the Dhamma, when we practice this Dhamma sharing. This is a beautiful story. Once a prince called Abhaya came to meet the Buddha. So at this time the Buddha was in a particular place. India, it's still there in India. That place is called Vulture's Peak, Gijjakuta. If I place it in Pali language, Gijjakuta. Gijja means the vultures, a kind of hawks, big birds. And Buddha was staying there in this, in the Vulture's Peak. So now when you hear this word, okay, you can at least, glimpse something, pick up something from this word. When it is said that Vulture's Peak, what does it mean? It is, of course, on a top of maybe a hill or some other place. Somehow the other, it's in the, It's on a top. Okay? Vulture's peak. Now this Prince Abhaya, his name is Abhaya, okay? Now he is going to meet the Buddha, since the Buddha is staying on this vulture's peak. So he has to climb up this, hill. So he went to meet the Buddha, and soon after when he came to meet the Buddha, Buddha also started talking about the 7 elements of, liberation. What we call as, in Pali language, we call it as Sapta Bodhyam. The first one is called, mindfulness, right mindfulness. And when the Buddha explained this Dhamma discussion and shared his Dhamma knowledge with this Prince Abhaya, now this prince is ready to leave the place after paying the homage to the Buddha. Now he is happy, and he is of course experiencing a kind of what do we call as physical comfort and mental comfort. This is how he explained. This is how he relate what he experienced after listening to the Buddha's Dhamma with the Buddha. Now when he is ready to leave the place, this Prince Abhaya says a very nice thing that he experienced during his Dhamma sharing with the Buddha. He says, Bhante, when I came to this place, I saw this peak, I have to climb up this top of the hill. It's wearisome. It's tired. It makes me tired, both physically and mentally. When at the very beginning, when we go in front of a root of a hill, you may have the eager and enthusiasm to climb up this hill. That's natural. But when it is going on, when it is occurring, in meantime, what would mostly happen is you become tired, both physically and mentally. So this Prince Abhaya also related his experience, and finally he says that if I experienced earlier a physical weariness by climbing up this hill, and it led me to have the mental weariness also. I was mentally upset after climbing up this hill, because it's a kind of you need extra energy to climb up a hill. Finally he listened to the Buddha's Dhamma. Now he is ready to leave the place. Now he says that if I experienced a certain kind of physical weariness, some aspect of tiring, now I'm okay. Now I'm both physically and mentally okay. I have gained the fitness, full energy. How could it be happen? Because after listening to the Buddha's Dhamma sharing, he says that Yopi me bhante gijjakutam pabbatan arohantassa kaya kilamato chitta kilamato sopi me patipassabdo. That's how it occurs in the Pali language. If somebody is familiar with the Pali terms, Theravada Pali suttas in the original text. That's how it goes in the original text. I'll tell you the place if you are interested in later on after sharing this Dhamma. Yopi me bhante gijjakutam pabbatan arohantas. When I was climbing up this hill, if there was something that I experienced as physical weariness and mental weariness, kaya kilamato, Here, kai kilamata. Pali word kilamata means the anxiety, excessive weariness. Kai kilamato. And chitta kilamato. Chitta kilamata means the anxiety of the mind. That happens whatever the way you are going to do something in your life. Now he says that sopime patipassaddo, now I am okay. Now I don't experience both these physical weariness and the mental weariness. So that's the analog. In other words, the example story for the first category of rewards of listening to this Dhamma. In other words, sharing the Dhamma. Now you are listening. Of course, while you are listening, you are studying something, and you'll have to practice this after leaving this place. That's how we can apply this Dhamma to our day-to-day life. Okay, that's the first step. And the second one is, when you go on practicing this Dhamma, another way you will be benefited, you will be rewarded is, you can destroy both, again, another aspect of physical weariness and mental weariness. On one occasion, another person called, you may have heard his name, he is called the Nakula Pita. His name is Nakula. Pita means the father. So we can say father as Nakula. Okay? Somehow or the other, this person is Nakula. Now he is a very intimate person to the Buddha and the order of the bhikkhus, member of the the venerables also in the temple. And he used to come to the temple, and of course he does not forget to make a visit to the temple at least once a week with his wife. And when he came to the Buddha, and he also had a chance to listen to the Buddha's Dhamma, and he too relates this same experience. After listening to the Dhamma, he says that now I feel a great comfort both in my mind and in my body too. How could I gain it? After listening to the Buddha's Dhamma. That's the second one. Okay, the third one, which is very, very important again for you to understand, is, as I told you earlier, well functioning of daily routines. Well functioning of daily routines after listening to this Dhamma. It's another aspect that you can experience if you practice this Dhamma teaching or listening or whatever the way you find it well. And let me again share with you a very nice story. And with that I would like to finish this Dhamma talk, Dhamma sharing. And ultimately, finally, if you have got any questions, you are welcome for that. Okay, this story is about a king and his wife. This king is called Munda. His name is Munda. And during the time of the Buddha, an Arahant was living in India with him, with the Buddha. He is called Narad. So if you are interested in finding this story, I will tell you the right place in the original text. As kind sayings, it has been translated into English as kind sayings, representing the Samyutta Nikaya kind sayings. So this king Munda was very upset. He gave up everything. He was overwhelmed. He had no power. Yes, he gave up everything in this life. Why? Why did he give up everything? Why was he overwhelmed? It's not because of any other thing, but after the death of his dearest wife, he loved her a lot. They had a very, close, close relationship, and he respected his wife a lot, and however, they were living very happily with each other. Somehow or the other, this particular discourse, it says that he lost his wife. And because of that, traumatic experience, what did the king do? He gave up everything. He did not take food, okay? He did not take, he did not pay any attention to clean his body. When we go to the washroom and we are highly interested in having a very hygiene, if not very healthy life. So taking a shower, here it means in the discourse, in this talk given by the Buddha to that king gave up completely his physical hygiene. Yes, he did not take bath. That's how it says in the discourse. But we can imagine he completely ignore his physical fitness, exercising, taking good food and like those things. And at the same time, he did not pay any attention to the government he had, the rule he was taking. He completely gave up everything. And while he was in this mental setup, mental condition, one of the ministers, so close to him, he had a very, very intimacy with him. He came to him and he said that there is an arahant close by and you can go and meet him. Have a Dhamma sharing with him. At least he will help you to come out of this traumatic experience. Somehow or the other, this king, he went to meet this arahant Narada, and now he is sharing the Dhamma. The Narada, this arahant, is sharing the Dhamma with the king. After the Dhamma sharing, because I have no time to tell you what this Dhamma story is, somehow or the other, that arahant, he explained the aspects of why we are aging, okay? Whenever we fall ill, we cannot stop it, and at the same time, one day we will have to separate from each other, another aspect, and finally, we have to face the death. Like that, this arahant was, explaining the Dhamma to this king. And after listening to the Dhamma, a beautiful thing that we can imagine, of course, happened to this king. And now he is also ready to leave the place. But before leaving the place, king said to this arahant, earlier I gave up everything. I was overwhelmed. I had no hopes. Of course, by the time I came to meet you, I had given up everything. No hopes, no future, nothing. Now he says, when he is about to, leave the place, say goodbye to the arahant, he says that Ajatagge Mayang Nahaisam. From today on, I will pay my attention to the physical fitness. I will do exercises. I will take good food. Okay? Nahaisam. Then Vilimpesama. Vilimpesama means using scents, cosmetics. In other words, we call as I don't know, as you know, maybe there are different kinds of ways that you can have a very pleasant life by applying certain kind of scents on your body and on your clothes, like that. That's how it means Vilimpesam. Vilimpesam means I'll have a very pleasant life with the cosmetics. And finally he says that Battam Bunjisam. Battam Bunjisam means I'll take good food. That means I'll pay my attention to the nutritious foods that I earlier ignored. Finally he says that Kammante pavajissama. Kammante pavajissama means I'll pay my attention to the rule, okay? The way how I rule this country. Earlier I ignored this government, the ministers, and my duties, obligations, everything. Now I am concerned about my country, and after I go to my place, I'll do my duties. I'll again attend to my duties like that. And this story also is quite exemplary to understand that the importance, in other words, the rewards of Dhamma sharing. So with that, I would like to finish my Dhamma talk. But before that, let me tell you one of the very nice, verse that you can find in the Dhammapada. In Dhammapada, I wonder whether you may have heard, the one who listens to the Dhamma, this is how the Buddha says, the one who listens to the Dhamma brings the nectar of my teaching. Dhamma piti sukhang sit. That's how he says. You brings. When we are practicing the Dhamma, we brings the the nectar of this Dhamma, the teachings of the Buddha. That is how it is called nectar. We brings the nectar. Okay, and again, it's one of the aspect of the four elements of Sotapatyangas. That means the state of four stages of sanctification. Once you convert to the this Dhamma, Buddha's path, as the first stream, okay, Sotapanna. One of the first aspect of Sotapatyangas is listen to the Dhamma. Listen to the Dhamma. Share the Dhamma. Okay? Saddhamma savana. It is called Saddhamma savana. You have to listen to the Dhamma. And at the same time, you have to practice it. So with that, I would like to conclude my Dhamma sharing with you. Those are the results, those are the benefits, rewards that you can achieve by sharing this Dhamma. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Pannaloka. I want to share something just shortly. When the Pannaloka is mentioned about the Gijjakota, the mountain of the Buddha used to spend many time there.
Yes.
So I went that place 2 times in my life. It was, I believe, is a Rajagaha.
Yeah.
It's a Rajagaha is, I believe, in India, one of the state called, what is that state name? The where the Buddha's Bodhi tree and everything, that place. Vinita Mokadhyari kiyan? No. Transit kiyan?
Rajagaha.
No, transit. Anyway, I forget the state. I went, that city is called Rajagaha. So they spent a lot of time there. It's almost, I believe, that state half of the California. Maybe let's see, like of the San Bernardino County, something like that. Very huge area. There are 5 mountains. Gijjaguta, Vebara.
Yes, in my case, I have never ever been to that place, but Reverend Shanti, he has been to that place and he can understand very well how the quake is.
That's a, it's a 5 mountain around the city, big, huge mountain. Buddha spent everywhere there. Mostly Buddha spent time in the Gijjakuta. That's a place Buddha was bottom of the Gijjakuta mountain, whatever, and he was practicing walking meditation, and the Devadatta wanted to kill the Buddha, and he put the one rock. So, however, I climbed to that place. When you go to the all the way up, it is tired, man. It is.
That's what I do need to know that whether it takes time.
It is. Well, for me, I was very young. That's why I'm getting tired. So it is very tired. Once you go to the up, you feel completely different there. So you feel something very present, something you feel. It's like you are with the Buddha, something like that. You don't tired or anything when you're walking. all the way up to maybe it's take 1.5 hour, almost 2 hours to.
That's after climbing up the hill. You just imagine after listening to the Buddha's Dhamma sharing, what will happen to you?
Well, yeah, it is something feeling about the something, you know, you have those experience, you have to go to the ancient temple somewhere in the place like Buddha Gaya or somewhere. However, that's that I want to share. Then another one is most ancient temple is location in the mountain area. People have to go all the way up, you know, not with the driving the car, just step by step. So once you go there, you feel different. In many Buddhist countries, many temples, you go there and you see the place, you see there the statues, you feeling so many things, you see the nature, nice, everything. You feel very good. So you can come down easily. So that's what I want to share. I think we don't have any more time, so we will talk. If you have any question, you can ask with Pannaloka, you know, after the tea break time, around tea break time. So we chant